Hello there, Sacred Hearts. Welcome back to another week's of Love Wisdom. Going live my Facebook group of the Sacred Heart Awakenings. I'm Monica Bermudez. I'm an intuitive quantum energy healer. And I'm coming in with a Love Wisdom channel message from the Sacred Heart related to the quantum acceleration and feeling rushed. And have you been feeling rushed? Well, first of all, you're not going crazy. It is a bit of a rushed energy of this accelerated times of the quantum field, which I'll get into some more within this video about the quantum field itself, and also about this super new moon, very powerful energy codes that are still streaming through to the earth. So it peaked yesterday, but we're still within that energy field itself. So definitely keep receiving some of these energy codes from the cosmic itself, from the universe. So let me just say that these new energy codes are in fact up leveling and upgrading more of our creative side. And so we feel like rushed in that way, that we want to download tons of information and ideas and get really creative about how to implement them, how to share them, but it's really how you're being guided at this time, from your own guides, and starting with your own heart GPS, intuitive wisdom as well, and your higher self. But that's really what we're receiving right now with these energy codes. So when we talk about the quantum energy field itself, and actually I was thinking about Albert Einstein, and somebody earlier posted a quote from Albert Einstein, so talking about synchronicity in the quantum field itself. And there was a quote from Albert Einstein that I really love. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it says, imagination is a preview to what's coming, or a preview to the attractions coming. So I can't remember exactly, but I'll post it on Facebook again. I believe I posted it before, but I'll post it again. But it's a preview to a life's attraction. This all ties into the quantum field itself. And speaking of Albert Einstein, if you don't know by now, he was a scientist from the early 1900s who studied a lot about the theory of relativity. And in fact, he is known to be one of the founding fathers of the quantum physics and the quantum field that we talk about right now. But back then, when he first started this, it was just all very theoretical. And so right now it's becoming more of a practical, and scientists are finding how real it is. And, it's now that they're advancing with their scientific tools and technology to really study it. And when Albert Einstein talked about this, he was just barely scratching the surface, because it is huge finding, and it just branched out into all different areas. So the quantum field itself encompasses the quantum physics, the quantum mechanics, and the quantum entanglement itself. It has like a bunch of like little branches of it in what areas it will fall into. And so basically it's how everything is all interconnected energetically. So when scientists look at it, they're looking at beyond the atomic particles, which are the electrons, which are moving so fast, really, really fast, and creating and generating so much energy, because everything around us has energy. Even the objects that look like they're not moving, like for example a chair, it actually is generating energy. There's movement going on within it, even though it's completely still. But within that empty space itself, there is movement going on. There's stuff happening. And then you also have certain voids of energies as well, that may look like space, but it's actually creating, and it's a space for creation of new forms and new ideas, which is what this energy of the super new moon is giving us, this boost of energy, this boost of upgrade, to be more in alignment with our creative side, to really upgrade our higher self channel of connection with our intuitive side in itself. So if you've gone, hi Jessica, hi for those who are watching live, please feel free to comment or post any questions you may have throughout the video, or share your love wisdom as well. But I must say that receiving these upgrades are great. However, when we have not really worked on certain patterns, or maybe we have been working on them, sometimes there's still lingering layers of old patterns that still may be around, that just are ready to just come out. And they usually come out because when we are being filled with more light, it also starts to shake some of the mud, some of these old cobwebs or these old dusts that have been blocks, let's just say. And they're usually blocks and patterns that that relate to doubt, or that relate to some type of trust issue. So, but in this case though, I was feeling that there was a pattern that was surfacing up for most, and this was due to a form of trauma, and I feel trauma with the religious trauma from past lives. Now, this is not to bash on anyone's belief or anything like that, but this is just based on the fact that for those who are light workers and who have been hiding or are afraid to really come out and say who they really are, that they're into metaphysics, that they're mystics, that they're do all these types of meditation without being judged by others or criticized, or this is the energy of persecution, that then it makes it unsafe. It makes it feel like it's hard to just trust who you can open up to and be vulnerable. And so I was feeling that there was this pattern also that was coming up with so many people with this super new moon. And so at the same time, it's also like we're feeling very rushed as well, because we're rushed to get these accelerated activations, accelerated unique energy codes from the super new moon into this quantum field of energy that we are all entangled. And these patterns fall within this entanglement, this quantum entanglement, because the way I see it, or the way it's been shown to me visually, intuitively, is think of like a spider web, but think of it like a cosmic universal spider web of all these interconnections of energies. And that includes certain old patterns from past lives that like, for example, the persecution energy, or being hidden because being afraid of being judged by someone else or criticized by them. And so with that cobweb, it may look like it could be kind of messy, right? But for those who really look with the heart and the intuitive side of things, you will see that there is an order and a structure to them. So when the energy codes that are coming in start to shift and upgrade, they also shift a lot of these motions of these cobwebs, and things are interwoven into different entanglements and realigned and reprogrammed. So it's just being reformatted in a way. So you can think of it, looking at this cobweb, the shifting. So it can look like a sacred geometry type image. This is the way that I'm seeing it with my intuitive, eye. And so I'm just sharing, what's going on right now with some of these energies, and why, we're feeling so rushed right now. And it's definitely going to feel more rushed as we move into the end of this year, with all of these portals that are coming up right now. And so the other, patterns that is related and entangled with this persecution energy, with this trauma, is also the pattern of, wanting to be seen, or, hard to visible, as I will use my terminology, right? Because there's a lot of things that get stored in our heart. When it comes to trauma, when it comes to grief, when it comes to loss, when the heart gets so clogged up, and I'm talking about energetically, right? In the physical sense, let's look at that as an analogy, right? When it gets clogged up, what happens to the rest of the body? Nothing else functions, right? In the blood vessels. It's just a health thing, right? And that's why there's certain like heart attacks and all that. But now let's look at it from an energy surgical aspect of things. When the heart gets energetically clogged up or blocked by these old traumas and grief and losses, and I'm talking about layers and layers of many lifetimes, that it just creates this wall around the heart, that it also disconnects from the higher heart, and it disconnects from the lower part of your body, the lower chakras and the upper chakras as well. And I mean, it still does function like it should, but there are some things that you will feel that something feels disconnected. And I found that a lot of my students who do come to me for support are feeling this disconnection that just really feels it needs to be reconnected. And the work that I do with the light language, which is very quantum field energy, what it does is that because there's such unique energy codes, it brings all these energy codes into this quantum field of the chakras itself, and it rewires and it reprograms those entanglements. It transmutes them. That means it shifts those energies into different forms of energy of higher frequency. And those higher frequencies just reconnect those areas of the chakra and your other portions of the body. And so that's why many people, when they start to feel this reconnection, they feel it in different parts of their body as well. So it's essentially rebuilding the whole chakra system. Eventually, though, as we accelerate into much higher frequencies, and it may not happen overnight or anything like that, because there's just so much stuff, that we are still working through, and layers of stuff that just need to be purged and cleansed, that eventually, the future new humans will really not have the need for chakras. They're going to be functioning at a very accelerated rate. They're going to be moving so fast that it will look like they come together in alignment. And so that's really where we're heading, at a quantum level of a new human race itself, with these ascension energies, the quantum acceleration, the quantum field. So so there's a lot going on. And I wanted to share this message, this love wisdom message this download of information that I was getting, the need to share this channeled heart wisdom message with you. So comment below and let me know what you've been feeling with this super new moon, and what you're planning to manifest with this energy, because there's still patterns that may be releasing, but the new moon is all about able to manifest and plant new seeds and be creative with it. When it's a super new moon, it's because the moon is in proximity much closer to the earth itself, even though you can't see it because it's a new moon, but it's still there. It's just covered up, right? And so that moon itself is very close to the earth. All the stars, everything, including the earth itself, has an influence on one another energetically. And that is also another form of the quantum entanglement itself, is this whole cobwebs of all these different stars of the universe and the energy field and everything coming together. And the same thing with us, within us, because we are a mini universe. So there are aspects of us that correlate to the universe itself and how it is in itself. So that is why exploring within is, the way to start. There's so much to explore within than it is to explore on the outside and the external. So focusing more on the inside will also shift a lot of the ancestral family lineage connections as well, and the healing that we do, the support that we give to ourselves, or the investment that we put in ourselves. And so all of this, helps at the collective level as well. So what you upgrade, what you heal, you're also healing this quantum field, this quantum entanglement. So that is why it's so important that, if you're doing the work, you need help, of course, go with your guidance, with who you connect with and who you can ask for help on these things. Very important, of course. And we're heading into this energy, this new unity consciousness, this Christ consciousness, where it is all about supporting one another and just helping each other. So as such, if you haven't seen yet my messages, that I will be I'm planning a guided group private meditation on November, which is Thursday, November 11th. It's 11/11 portal that's being activated. So it's a Sacred Heart portal activation. If you feel called to it, just message me and let me know if you're interested, if you haven't done so already. And I should be sending a link to the registration this weekend to have you register, so that way I have the correct email address for you, so I can send the actual call details and all that. And like I mentioned, it's free. And I was feeling called and guided to do this group meditation with those who resonate and feel they have the need, because there are already, some really powerful energy codes that are now coming into the earth, and we are definitely getting there. So Laura asked a good question about what's quantum. Well, the word quantum really is the same thing as acceleration, or being fast-paced. So it's all just the possibility of so many things to happen in that time frame. So I'm glad that you asked this question, because I also wanted to talk about the possibilities of things, which just all relates to the timelines. So there's a possibility, right, of the choices that we make. For example, you have a choice that you want to watch this video live, or you have a choice that you want to watch this video later at any time, or you just have the choice that you don't want to watch this video. Or, there may be these other choices that you watch the video, but you're multitasking with other things, right? And which I do. So I've listened to other videos and I do multitask and stuff. But, there's the infinite amount of possibilities within the quantum field itself. So the interconnection of all things, right? All the timelines, everything coming together. Which is why it's so important to be consciously aware in the choices that we make, and being consciously, focusing our energy on the highest vibrational timeline and outcome, because the moment that you do, energy goes in that direction into that quantum field itself, and others are feeling it, others are being impacted by that. So if there's any other questions or comments or anything, please feel free to share in the comments below. And I will be connecting with you in the next love wisdom message. And I'm sending you all love for now. So bye for now.